Hey, good morning, folks. We are on our Saturday morning art stream where I do personal projects and commissions. We're currently doing a commission book cover here for an adventure of an abyssal weapon out of the Underdark called Inroven's the Shatterer. So this was created by Andy, the Old Goat Heedley, and Brian Fallen Wyvern Holmes. Give me a second here to check my signal, make sure I'm up and running. I'll go through my official intro spiel, and then we'll get to work here for about 100 minutes of fun. So, let's see. Checking signal here. La 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 la. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Check. Bop bop. Yep. Sounds like it's coming through A-OK. Groovy. Bop 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 bop, and falling into place. Okay. Cool. Intro. Hey, my name is Phil Kearney. Hey. I create role-playing game supplements, I illustrate them, and then I publish them online. Most of the time, I'm creating supplements for 5th edition, 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, which has multiple streams that I run during the week. There's links to stuff that I produce down below. But on Saturdays like this, I do commission work for other role-playing game creators like Andy and Brian. So I stream 6 days a week, Monday through Friday. I create book cover. I create book art for the Spelljammer supplement that I've been creating on Monday, and Thursday nights I create maps and creature assets for an Eberron adventure. Tuesday I create game mechanics for an upcoming book called Martial Powers, giving martial characters in Dungeons & Dragons resources to have options similar to half-casters selecting spells. And on Saturday, we're here doing streams like this. So best way to support the channel is if you're a D&D enthusiast, check out some of my work on DM's Guild. Consider making a purchase. Otherwise, I've just posted that I'm live on Twitter. You can follow me at Phil Kearney to get notifications when I go live just like this. Otherwise, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notifications when I'm live in the future, and thanks a lot for checking it out. So we're in the ideation phase right now of the book cover. The initial idea has been approved by the clients, and that we have this 70-foot, it's basically the size of the Tarrasque, if you're familiar with what that is. It's basically like a 50-foot wide, 70-foot-long monstrosity. Just like, it's a kaiju giant creature, right? But this is a siege weapon made from demon flesh and essence. So we are, they like the general idea of what I have going here. They just want to have more environmental cues and detail, which I absolutely agree with. So we've got this broken up into 3 pieces. We've got the foreground here of the forest that is being knocked asunder by this thing. Well, let's do it. Let's do it the other way. First thing, there's a portal that this weapon fires a shot, and that shot can hit any location that the wielder of the commander of that weapon is familiar with, like kind of like Scry. Like if I'm in the Abyss and I know of a location like say Baldur's Gate in Faerun, I can picture that location, fire the weapon, it'll open up a destructive black hole at the destination and acts as a wormhole tunneling from, like, say, the Abyss to Faerun. So I fire the shot, it destroys everything in that 100-foot area, creating a portal that the weapon or anything else with the weapon could step through, like an invasion force or enemies, or relocating the weapon with destructive plane shift, as it were. And then so we're depicting it currently hitting a forest location because I love Bob Ross landscape painting. So this was the location that I intuited, and they approved the location. So what we're going to do right now is separate the foreground from the rest of the ground. So we can have a foreground. We have the let's go to here and then take these things cut those out here. Bop, bop. Merge down. Okay, so we have the foreground. We have the weapon itself. Midground. We have the portal opening up, and then we have far background, which will probably be like Happy Mountains and stuff. So I'm going to conceal this and that, and strictly focus on just a landscape. Just Bob Rossing this a bit, creating some happy little environment that's going to get utterly destroyed. But it's just fun making landscapes, so I'm going to drop this in. Let's do like that. That feels most right, like this. Good. Here, get some topography going. Oh, I've got my timer going. So we got about 100 minutes. I'm gonna kick on through here. Yeah, I should be done with just like general sketching today. I've got a good block of time, and then we will then start. I'm anticipating a 6-episode series on this. First episode last week was just initial idea. Since client's okay with the initial idea, then I'm coming through and putting in more detail into the line art in general. Maximum effort. And so I anticipate at the end of this stretch to have enough detail in the sketch to get approval to move ahead with coloring and higher detail. And once the color palette is approved in the next 2 weeks, then I'll be able to move forward with just doing finishing details to complete the project, and then we'll move on to something else. I may have another commission lined up that I'm not 100% on, so I won't talk about it until I have something in writing, as usual. But it looks like I'm starting to get an ongoing stack of clientele that are happy to fill in my dance card, and that makes me feel great. And if I ever don't have a commission on a weekend, then I will do my own stuff. I have plenty of Spelljammer ships to create. I have Mecha to produce. I have Mass Combat to work on. I've got guild creation to work on. I'm playing with with the idea of a couple different systems, other than 5e, but adjacent. I've been looking at old school essentials. I've been considering continuing DMing for Cypher system, so creating content for Cypher makes a lot of sense as well. Things that I could stick with a 5e branding, but with D&D converting to whatever their 6th edition is going to be, it's there's no guarantee I'm going to stay in that game space for the next couple years. Between the Eberron adventure that I'm doing with Andy, one of the writers of this adventure, between the Eberron adventure I have with Andy and the Martial Powers book that I develop on Tuesday, I won't be venturing beyond 5th edition D&D until they release whatever the 2024 is. At that point, I have some conversion work to do for other projects that I've been maintaining. So I expect by 2025 that I'll be reassessing what game system I want to start producing content for. But art is art. Art doesn't care what system you use. It just cares about IP identity and looking good. So my commissions probably won't change all that much, even though my own design work might. But I started game design in the first place because I wanted to be able to reliably produce income from the artwork that I make, and I made the calculated decision that if I make books, I become my own art director, so I dictate what I get paid by the number of book sales that I get. So I was able to fold the cost and time of art production into general promotion efforts and basically bragging rights as I stream what art will be in the books. I get to talk about the books. So commissions like this are different because I don't have context. Normally when I'm doing my own stuff, I have a lot of context to be able to talk about, this is why I'm building this particular page of art. But commissions like this, it's just a brief, and I get to kind of make up my own narratives about what's going on unless a client feeds me specific details. So I'm just making some ripples here with some mountain and some rugged hills and badlands here that'll help serve as a backdrop here. So I want to raise this up a touch. I'm going to drop the opacity on this so it's present but not invasive. Always building towards whatever it is we got going on here. I want the land to slide its way like this down the page. Like if I didn't have a portal of destruction in the middle of the illustration like this, I'm starting to create this interesting, like this water effect would probably pour out, become central, and then I'd have like a foreground to help frame this as a lake. But that would make the lake the centerpiece, and the centerpiece of this is the destructive machine stepping through realities. So a normal Bob Ross painting, this need not be. In fact, I want to keep it dry here so I can emphasize the forest that the machine is basically lumbering its way through. So I can have this indication of water back here, but I can't realize it because it's going to get covered with the midground, the important essential assets of the composition, which is the weapon. That does let me do something like this. There. Foreshortening. Got to make that circle is basically where all this event is happening inside of. So I get to drop the opacity here, just so it's so I know it's present. That way I can start building the crushed landscape around it. So this is 70 feet here. forest. No happy trees. Can't be that happy. You're getting rocked. But that does give us context. So we know that if 70 feet is like this, then on this hill back here, 70 feet is going to be more like this. And on this hill, 70 feet is going to be more like this. And this hill, 70 feet is going to be more like this. So that's my kind of ongoing scale. Seems like I put forest back here like this. And even though the central image is just going to get utterly destroyed by the portal that's created, I still want to have, and these are going to be further back, I want to have the context here. Like that. Yeah, I like those being a little bit taller. Let's make these a little bit bigger. Doom, doom, doom. Like that. We have the next layer here that we'll be able to put over. It's going to be taller trees here. You want this layering effect of having background elements covered by the different planes of distance, because that's just how you integrate depth into your composition. Like that. Let's take a sip of coffee, get another 20 minutes rolling. Time flies when you're having fun. Fade those a bit, and fade that a bit. There we go. It's just a bunch of trunks right now, you know, as trees do. And I have additional patch like that going up this hill. Patch going up that hill like that. Some little ground brush here, really small, to start setting a sense of scale here, like how like brush work like this is going to be anywhere from like 3 to 5 feet in height. So this is establishing here with this ground scrub basically context for how tall the forest actually is, and we can just create these little like these pews or like the stadium seating effect to have stacks, rows of trees as you push back. Hey, Hornetico, it's good to see you, guy. How you doing today? So you got the all the tree trunks, and then we have this ground brush that starts working in. So you can see, like, I can create topography like this along the hills without having to draw lines like that. Instead of those types of lines, we create these little hedges and little thickets and patches of a different type of plant life that grows inside of the little pockets of these copes of trees. Again, most of this is just going to get covered over with destruction. It's just here for context and bragging rights mostly. I love doing any chance I have to, as an excuse to be able to work in landscapes and little river scenes or neat little brambles or gorges. I like having, if a composition is going to allow me to cheat those in, then I'm likely going to have a larger space than what I'm commissioned for, or go a little bit further than I am, just because it's such low-hanging. I mean, it's low-hanging fruit to be able to produce forests and landscape paintings in general. Once you get really good, honestly, once you get really good with Bob Ross's style, integrating natural environments into your piece is ridiculously easy, and then it's just trying to make sure the rest of your composition can compare in quality, to not have that that early 2000s anime look where you've got hand-drawn characters on CGI machinery, and the style is such a clashing mismatch that you get pulled out of the narrative of what the story is, because you can't not notice how unnaturally machinery moves while the characters are so well animated. Like, there's a huge disparage in those two skill sets and style. You can't not notice it. Yeah, you got text. So, doing all right. Trying to decide whether to work on some more monsters for the character options, or whether to begin tinkering with a starter adventure for the TTRPG. Yes, I absolutely know how that is, my man. Kudos for you taking on a whole TTRPG. It really helps build context around other projects you have in the future, and it also helps give a sense of perspective. Like, once you start cracking out projects that are 3 digits in size, like 100 pages plus, you really start to get a feel for like the sense of scope of like how big things really are. Like, if you're gonna do a whole RPG game, and that's gonna with guidance, creation rules, adventure design, like if that's all going to get bundled into like a 350 page book, then each of those sections being like around 100 to 75 pages a piece, like it becomes a lot more manageable to be able to tackle projects like that. It's I mean, once you do it, you own it. You know, it's not a threat anymore. I'm gonna take this foreground bubble. Push that forward. Background. Now we're starting to look at mid-ground. We'll have foreground. Drop the entire background into A lighter fade. 3D modeling is useful for playing stages where the 2D background is supposed to be in shifted. Yes, I absolutely agree. 3D is excellent for asset production, as well as replicating. Like if you create a complicated pillar or like stair structure, railings, replicatable patterns that you need to pay attention to perspective. 3D digital tools are amazing at that. I am horrible with 3D digital tools. So most of the time, I end up just trying to bash it out with by hand drawn, which is arguably not the best use of my time. It can very easily be argued that a better use of my time would be to actually learn how to use Blender or ZBrush or whatever, and get good at on-the-fly modeling to be able to create those replicatable things to integrate into my piece. It's just, I don't do it until I'm motivated to. Obviously, people don't do things until they're motivated to do it. So I just don't have, I just haven't had the motivation to do it. I recognize the value. It's just the value, the loss of production time and limited need for use of it in the work that I do makes it arguably a loss of investment in time that isn't going to be easily recovered. Otherwise, I would have already been doing a bunch of like Blender tutorial stuff and doing Let's Learn videos alongside it. Alas, earwax. Now we can start knocking things over. Blah, 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 bigger. Let's take fade it just a touch. End up happening is these trees are just gonna get wrecked. So I'm only going to do branches on one side of these trees. The other side is just going to be burned off. Let's go with this portal. Let's make it. Something like that. These little waves of eldritch destruction. Go. There, like that. It feels about right, but I want to make the weapon a little larger in the composition, a little bit more intimidating. That's not a bad sense of scale. Nice. I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. Take this, push that out. Let's see, how do I want that to do? Let's push that back a bit. Like that. There we go. Create little crests and little topography here. Nice, timely timer, 20-minute marker, and we are only now, okay, great, we got a whole hour. We have an hour left, so easy peasy, man. Sorry, I'm over here laughing to myself because I'm thinking about Bob Ross paintings again. So allow me to indulge myself in the endeavor of creating a happy little cottage over here and then smashing it. It's too small details, not going to come through. It's a fun idea of having a cottage get smashed just like getting stepped on, but I don't think the perspective and sense of scale is going to allow for that to actually read true. So I'm just going to cut my losses on that thought process and then get into a copse here. I'm really compelled by this happy little cottage idea, though. That's really just sticking in my craw. Crappy little cottage, super big truck. I think that's good context. Got a frame of reference there. Plus, you know, homage. Can't go wrong with a little happy little cottage in the middle of a wreckage. Not bad. Still staying within frame of the space that I was hired to build inside of. Starting to be happy, very, very happy about where this is sitting at. Put some shrubbery here in the foreground. Start building that up to push the rest of the forest back. We're building in stacks here. Go here. Very nice. Good. I'll drop these mountains a little bit. Better framing there. Good. Man. Nice. Good centering. So let's now spend some time in here. The rest of the session we're going to spend detailing this tank a bit more. Generally, when I process a commission, I've got 3 stages that I work through. I go through the initial sketch ideation. I then do detailed art, detailed line work and base color, and then polishing and detail refinement. So right now we're in the sketch phase, phase 1. Once we get done with today's session, we should have enough line art information here that the composition, the composition should be getting pretty clear at this point. So I'm going to actually push this back a bit. There. But forest is just forest. I'm just going to Bob Ross that stuff. That'll be easy. So hopefully the quality of the forest environment will help elevate the quality of the machine. Boop. Time flies when you're having fun, son. You can tell I have serious business because I have this tilt in my head, which means I'm thinking about stuff. A lot of times I'm flying super casual and I'm leaned back like this, like, you know, casual. But when I lean in and I start tilting my head like this, it's because I'm actually focusing on where I'm at. Probably because there's perspective or symmetry issues going on. This tilt is a good indication that I am having symmetry issues. It also gives me a crick in my neck after a while, so I gotta watch out for that shit. Get some structural gartering going on these legs. Some sinewy knots going on down in there. Honestly, every aspect of this piece I'm absolutely in love with. I like the chitinous plating effect that I've got going on here. I think that's super fun. I like the forest bits, of course. Bob Ross is one of my joys in life. This is a fun piece. I'm legit enjoying this piece. There we go. That's that symmetry I was missing. Hold on a second. I had to check my leg. Last night was the end of my antibiotic treatment for the leg infection that I had, cellulitis. And all the heat seems to be gone, but I'm still feeling some twitching. This is the first time that all the redness and the heat have been gone out of my leg, period. So I think it worked. So I'm going to give it a couple days, and if it's truly relaxed, then I can call myself done. But if by Tuesday it's starting to bother me again, then I'll have to go into another round of antibiotics to try to clear it out. So hopefully this is the end of it. I think I'm going to be okay. My muse says I don't have anything to worry about, and I trust her, so. I have to find out if there's like an emblem or something specific related to Interoven that I can be putting on the prow of this vessel. Right here. Let me take this whole structure here, pull that down a bit. There, just putting on some defensive plating here on the legs. God, I want to skewer that building so badly. But I don't want to destroy its frame so it loses recognition. So far, so good. So what? Just that shot. There we go. What are we looking at over here, huh? Maybe, let me borrow off of that. He just wants me to start blocking this in with color, so here we are. Blocking in with color. I hear you. Is up in my last... Yep, I'm in my last 20-minute cycle, so I'm just going to keep blocking in the color here just to help make sure that the central structure is standing out compared to the rest of the forestry. I think this should be sufficient for like initial sketching for me to get a confirmation to move forward to colorization in general. so good. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. There we go. Chutta 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 chutta. I have to come up with something, some sort of unique, magical, radiant effect, like dark energy sort of thing coming off of here to help get that dimensional punch effect going through, like something reminiscent to like Havoc, or like from Marvel Comics. Havoc had neat like little black energy effects going on around him when he was using his powers. Something similar to that, I think, would make a lot of sense. Or like like Psylocke's psychic blade had like weird little black balls of energy that kind of like orbited, like kind of clustered and clung to the blades that she would manifest. Has that same sort of feeling to it. Of course, a lot of it's going to get lost because of the forest, but that's not the point. Like that. That's the start of it anyway. A little inconsistency around the edge. Something like that. And honestly, I think this is probably as far as I'm going to get today. I don't know what their title plate's going to look like, but something like that. Good stuff. still fits. Sitting pretty. Shadooby. Shattered. Shatter. Get shat. That feels pretty good. That's starting to feel right. filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Helps make the blend go easier. There you go. So that's where we're at for now. So I'm going to see if I get approval on this idea moving forward. And if I do, then when we come back next week, we're going to start dropping in basically just doing Bob Ross painting here. And then we'll drop in the portal and the Shatterer weapon. And continue forward from there. But this is kind of the idea that we got going on here. So they only commissioned me for a half-page cover, but this honestly is just about a half-page worth of illustration, and then doing all this page dressing for framing and stuff. That's a nothing burger thing for me to just add on. So I'll present it like this. DM's Guild logo down here. Something like that. All right, cool. So that's it for today's session. We'll be doing this probably for the next 4 weekends here on Saturday like this. Like I said, next week we're going to start, assuming this is good to go, we're going to start developing the Bob Ross landscape environment. That'll probably take up next session, possibly some of the session after that, and then we'll continue working on refining the mechanism and look and feel to the actual weapon itself. It's looking a little tanky mecha right now, but they want to have like sinew and bone and muscle threaded throughout it, so I'll be able to like do some like alien like a H.R. Giger type feel to it to get different color and bone, some variance in the coloration of it, and yeah, like maybe we got like between the next 4 sessions, we got about 8 hours left on this piece. Assuming they don't have me doing lettering, they have their own lettering ideas, but the rest of the comp is good. This will be done in 8 hours, no problem. So that's what we do on Saturdays for the next month. Monday through Friday morning, we do page art for the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration supplement that we'll be publishing on DM's Guild probably some point in October is realistic. And then on Monday and Thursday nights, we do Eberron adventure construction. We've been working on cartography and character token art right now. We're going to finish the current set of character tokens, and then we're going to go back into doing small, like a little vignette maps of like little add-on encounters, like little one-shot things that you just drop into the environment. And then on Tuesday, we developed the martial power system. We've just completed the Barbarian and all of the subclasses with the Barbarian last week. That's our Tuesday lunch stream. So this Tuesday and for the next probably month or so, we'll be doing fighter subclasses using the martial power system. And then we'll finish off the rogue, and then we'll do the monk. And then we'll revisit Paladin and Ranger to see if there's anything that needs to be added on there. We have some comments and thoughts to share then about the new playtests, the Unearthed Arcana playtest 7, to what Marshals are doing and the direction that they're going there, some thoughts about that. So that'll be our week. So if you're new to the channel, hey, check it out. Welcome to the mix. If you like the artwork, then go ahead and like, subscribe. If you're a D&D enthusiast and you want to see where we're going with new mechanics for 5e, like and subscribe, because that's when it's not a commission stream like this. I'm just working on D&D stuff. I'll talk about D&D stuff, my own experiences. So thanks a lot for being here. We'll be here. Hopefully I'll catch you guys on Monday, and have a great weekend. Thanks a lot.